Good morning, guys. Happy Sunday to you. I get a question that's often asked here on this channel, the F-150 guys, specifically 2017 and above. They state, why does the vehicle make a clunking noise and almost seem like the tires want to lunge forward just a hair before it settles back down when I remote start the vehicle while it's cold? Well, the other day I had some thoughts. I was thinking about it, trying to figure out why the transmission drive shaft assembly would do that on cold start. It would just engage, engine, transmission, rear end would just engage like that, and you'd get that initial jump and clunk, and then it'd go away. Something's binding up inside that transmission, and that's what would only make sense. If the vehicle's in park, something had to have been stuck when that transmission was shut off, and that initial engagement, well, then fluid builds up, you get that first clunk, and then all of a sudden it settles, and then the tires will rotate when the clunk happens a little bit, just to they'll and then resettle back down and go back to where they were. I've seen it happen a lot, even at the dealership. I get asked that question all the time, and I've never been able to give anybody an answer on why it's going on. So I thought about it and thought about it and thought about it. It's the only thing that would make sense is if something's locking up inside that transmission, and then when you go to start it on cold start, it's still in that locked up state. So I called Brandon up from Performance Transmissions, and me and Brandon were talking for a while. If y'all don't know him here on YouTube, you need to go check him out. He's got a small channel where he just moved over from YouTube. I think he's got damn near 700,000 followers or something on TikTok Plus or somewhere around there. And all the guys look up to him. All the transmission guys are friends with him and stuff. And he does a very, very, very good job educating and helping people out and stuff in general. He's just a good dude. So I called him up and I was talking to Brandon about it, and he educated me a little bit more on the 10R80 transmission. It's not that I can't work on it. I'm just not as versed as those guys are in doing it all the time, and they know much more about the transmission stuff than I do, so I don't claim to be a transmission expert, just an expert in everything else, right? I'm kidding, I'm joshing. So I called Brandon up. I'm talking to Brandon, and he's, helping me make sense of a lot of things and thoughts that are in my head, and trying to put things together more professionally when I talk about it, when I give you guys advice. And I said, look, I would like to be able to explain this, and maybe even you, maybe you could explain it to me a little bit better, and then maybe eventually you'll do a video on it, because it's a big problem in the F-150 community with this initial clunk tire kind of roll forward. And he said, well, same thing was going on with GM 10 speeds as well, or no, 8 speeds. There's an SSM out on it when you remote start, cold start. And even if you're sitting in the seat, to be honest with you, even with the F-150s, even if you get in the seat and you start it cold, same thing can happen sometimes. But it's typically when you do a remote start, you're not in the vehicle, you do it, because then you hear it more distinct. They said there's an SSM out on the GMs doing the same thing. And it's something in that CDF drum, in that transmission, like a clutch brake, or I don't know if it's a drum brake. It'll stick when you go to shut it off, and then the next time you go to start it up, all of a sudden you get that fluid buildup in that CDF drum, and you'll get that clunk. The tires will try to lurch forward a little bit, and then it'll stop, and then it'll settle down, and it's freed up. That CDF drum inside those 10R80s have a lot of problems. The seals don't seal correctly down the center shaft of that sleeve that will shuttle back and forth. The O-rings will roll because of the way the grooves and stuff wear, and it's a very, very, very poor design. I think I was watching a trans guy not too long ago, and he was talking about they should have made this out of like a steel back material and not a Babbitt back material, because that doesn't work very well. And he was asking for people's input out there on how they can go about petitioning like Transgo or somebody to make a better kit for that CDF drum, so whenever they have those apart and they're rebuilding those 10R80s, they don't have to put the factory style stuff right back in there that's going to end up wearing out and causing problems anyway. There's a lot of fluid loss in that CDF drum. You can get so much fluid loss there that it will cause trans performance issues as well. But they end up making those transmissions like that anyway. What are you going to do? You can't just snap your fingers and go back and say, oh, It's all brand new. Just, you can learn from it, get it fixed. Hopefully they make upgrade kits for it. But I just wanted to reach out to you guys and tell you that the theory behind the clunk and a little bit of a lurch on startup, cold start on those 10R80 F150s, is that CDF drum. Something in that transmission, drum brake, clutch brake, or something is just locked up momentarily, and then when you go to start it and you get fluid buildup, and that clunk little tire rotation where it just barely wants to move and settle back down is all part of what's in that trans that's momentarily stuck before it frees up. I hope this helps y'all. Be blessed. Have a great day.